What's up, maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about AEW Dynamite. We had a banger of a show, capped off by a banger of a main event. Probably the best TV main event that I've seen this year. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for anything to top that. So we're going to get into that, and if you want to hear more about it, stay tuned. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you click the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. I'm gonna start right at the end, the main event. Guys, this was the culmination of weeks of back and forth between Best Friends and Santana and Ortiz, essentially warring over what has happened to Trent's mum, Sue. Her car was destroyed by Santana and Ortiz after a match, and these guys have been looking to get revenge on Santana and Ortiz ever since. And this match here, the parking lot brawl, was the culmination of about 3 or 4 weeks, I want to say, of back and forth between these guys. And it was a terrific match. I mean, this is the way you do street fights. Very Attitude Era-esque, and the match was kind of calling back to those times. We don't see a lot of the spots that we saw today in today's current product. We saw Ortiz throw a sledgehammer that nearly hit Chuck, went through a windscreen of a car. We saw suplexes and power bombs onto the roof of cars. Trent went through the windscreen of a car, shattered the glass completely, had glass in his back. Plywood 2x4s were getting hit over people's backs all over the place. There was like a baton, like a police baton being used throughout the match. Literally total carnage. And for a long time, this is the kind of offense I've wanted to see, especially from Santana and Ortiz. I believe they should be doing way more stuff like this. Can't always be street fights, but in their in-ring style, they need to be showing more of a violent edge. You know, they're kind of build from the streets and all of that kind of stuff. So that needs to come across a bit more, and I think they need to get more wins with that style of wrestling. Even throughout the match, I thought, yeah, this is definitely Santana's and Ortiz's to lose. They looked very dominant for the majority of this match. However, right at the end, when it looked like Santana was about to put away Chuck with a steel pipe he had in hand, Orange Cassidy pops the boot of the car, comes out, has a steel chain wrapped around his fist, and delivers the orange punch to Santana, which effectively knocked him out for the remainder of the match. This then allowed Trent to put Ortiz through like a layer of wood that was over the trunk of another car. He put him through it, got the pin, and Best Friends picked up the win. The story said that Best Friends had to win to kind of get revenge for Trent's mom. However, it would have been nice to see Santana and Ortiz win this match and really kick on from here. But to be honest, I think the winner and loser is a bit irrelevant in this whole match. The entire match was just absolutely brilliant. I mean, if we're giving this match stars, we're talking no less than 4 stars for this match. This is probably a 4.5 star match. It was very, very good. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and watch it. And the match was capped off by Sue then coming to pick up the boys, coming to pick up Best Friends. They all got in her car, and as she was driving away, she threw up the middle finger to Santana and Ortiz, which was very hilarious. So yeah, just all in all, a really good match from AEW, really good match from Santana Ortiz and Best Friends. And like I said, one of the best main events I have seen on TV, AEW, WWE on TV in a very long time. Definitely it's up there for this year. Before I get on to what else happened on the show tonight, guys, if you're enjoying this review, please hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. We thoroughly appreciate it right here at WrestleManiac UK, and it does loads for the channel. So you see the thumbs up button right there? Click it. To open the show, we had Jurassic Express versus FTR. Before the match actually happened, the Young Bucks came out, randomly super kicked the referee and walked backstage. So they are definitely showing more of an edge. This was completely unmotivated. Probably just want to continue getting across their heel persona. There was no need for this at all. Every week without fail now, we are getting Jack Perry and Luchasaurus on TV, and to be honest, they're not winning many of these bouts, but I'm loving it. These guys are really, really talented. FTR in the end had to essentially cheat to get the win. Jack Perry was tied up in the corner in a roll-up. Cash put his hand into the ring where Dax basically used it for leverage, and they held the ropes as well, got the 3 count, and FTR get their first win as champions. I think this was their first match since they've been crowned champions, so FTR got the win here. Kenny Omega was on commentary as Hangman Adam Page took on Kazarian in what was a very good match. At times I thought, you know, is this match dragging on a bit? Is it lasting a bit long? But the more it went on, the better it got. And it was like, Hangman was gonna win, but like, you know, Kazarian really showed a lot of resilience. And when Hangman put him away with the buckshot lariat, you saw Kenny Omega more or less immediately leave commentary, went backstage, kind of said, yeah, you know, well, he's doing well as a singles guy. This kind of proves my point a bit more. I'm going singles as well. Adam Page looked over towards the commentary desk, towards the entranceway to see if Kenny Omega was hanging around waiting for him. No sign of Kenny Omega. So Hangman Adam Page still kind of feeling bad, but definitely got his singles run off to a really good start in a really good match. We had MJF come out and he was facing Shawn Dean, and I just don't see the point in this. He put away Shawn Dean in literally a matter of seconds. That match wasn't even 1 minute long. I'm sure you guys can go and check. He poked Shawn Dean in the eye and then put a Fujiwara armbar on him. Shawn Dean tapped out immediately and the match was done. What was the point in this? Just to give MJF another win? It does nothing for Shawn Dean, that's for sure. And to be honest, I don't think it really does much for MJF, especially since after the match, all he did was kind of cut a promo again about how he should have beat Moxley, how he's now the uncrowned AEW champion, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of hinted towards joining, if not starting, his own faction, which, like I say, interesting kind of way that he might go about things now, but he definitely did not need to beat Shawn Dean, especially in that fashion on TV. Completely unnecessary in my opinion. But yeah, if MJF is going to start a faction, guys, put down below in the comments, who do you think is going to join this faction? I'd like to hear the kind of characters you think would mesh well with MJF at the helm of this faction. We had Private Party taking on Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. If I'm honest, this match was probably one of the weakest on the show. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. And I think that's more or less down to Chris Jericho and Jake Hager's style of wrestling. It didn't really do much for Private Party. Private Party were kind of still doing all their flashy high spots and things like that. But yeah, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager were just really dominant in places, using underhanded tactics, and just didn't really let Private Party get into the groove of the match. You see Private Party go out there and you think, yeah, you're gonna get a banger of a match, and these guys just weren't allowing them to really take off. So I guess that's what it came down to. In the end, there was a Judas effect and Chris Jericho picked up the win, pinning Isaiah Kennedy. But I have to say, Mark Queen was really impressive throughout this match. He is somebody that caught my eye in this match. Next up, we had Thunder Rosa taking on Ivelisse for the NWA Women's Championship. And guys, another banger of a match. Thunder Rosa, guys. Thunder Rosa. She is doing a lot right now. Like, she's definitely campaigning to be signed by AEW. And I don't know what NWA and AEW have in terms of like agreements, but they can't not put this woman on TV right now. She's even got a tag match next week with Shida. But she is doing some great stuff right now. Ivelisse as well. We do know she is a very, very good wrestler. Her and Diamante. These 4 women, including Shida, are probably going to be the ones carrying the women's division forward from a wrestling point of view. They are very strong. They are very good at what they do. Just a little side note, I hated those massive medals that Ivelisse and Diamante were wearing. Obviously, yes, that's the tag team championship thing that they won, but those medals are ugly. I'm sorry, I just had to say it. Anyway, back onto the match. Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse. It was a really good match. A lot of technical spots within the match, a bit of brawling as well outside the ring. Ivelisse tried to get her finisher off, didn't work, and that left the room for Thunder Rosa to deliver what looked like a crazy tombstone power driver. The way she just kind of picked her up and dropped her on her head, not literally dropped her on her head, but you get what I mean. Dropped her on her head, got the pin. Thunder Rosa retained her NWA championship. Very, very good match. In the end, Diamante then jumped the barrier to come and try and lay a beating with Ivelisse on Thunder Rosa. I thought they had a little Latina link up, but maybe not. And then Shida jumped the barrier to come to Thunder Rosa's rescue. Looked at the NWA championship, kind of went, Give it back to Thunder Rosa. I mean, I don't know what that means. You usually see someone that wants to become a double champion, but maybe it's just respect. She handed it back to Thunder Rosa, and like I said, next week we are getting a tag match. Thunder Rosa and Shida versus Ivelisse and Diamante. It's gonna be a good one. We had a segment where it was announced that Jon Moxley and Lance Archer will both kind of lead up teams that will go against each other next week in a 6-man tag. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer were in the ring and invited Taz down, and Lance Archer's tag team partners for this match are going to be Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. It seemed just as Jon Moxley was coming out to kind of make his announcement of who's going to be on his team, he was actually ambushed by Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in the little walkway that he usually comes down in the arena from. After being put through a road case and some more beatings, new signee Will Hobbs came to his rescue, took out Brian Cage and Ricky Starks with loads of chair shots, really showing his willpower, really amping up and going crazy. Great to see that Will Hobbs has finally signed with AEW. I was actually speaking about him in my Wrestle Extra episode with Black Wrestling Alliance the other day. You can catch that episode on my YouTube channel, and we were just saying how far he's come and how well he's done, and that he actually isn't signed as of that day we recorded that, and he literally got signed the next day. So yeah, very happy to see that. He definitely deserves it. And Moxley saying that Will Hobbs is on his team is a massive announcement. That is basically putting Will Hobbs straight into the kind of main event picture, you know. Now obviously he's not challenging Moxley anytime soon, I wouldn't think, but just to have him in the ring with some of those guys, this is how you bring someone to the top, bring somebody to prominence. The other partner that was announced is going to be none other than Darby Allin. So we are going to get Moxley, Will Hobbs and Darby Allin next week taking on Lance Archer, Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. It's going to be a very physical match and I can't wait to see it. So guys, that was my AEW review. Like I said, you have to watch this whole episode of AEW. So many good matches on it. Hangman Page versus Kazarian, the women's match Thunder Rosa versus Ivelisse, and the street fight. Guys, if not for anything, go and watch that street fight. Santana and Ortiz versus Best Friends. One of the best matches you will see on TV this year, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Guys, if you enjoyed this review, please click the thumbs up button and give us a like. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.